A group of island students competed this weekend at an event in Nova Scotia called Destination Imagination, and they took home a couple of top prizes. Destination Imagination is an annual challenge where young people from around the world face off to demonstrate innovative thinking. This is the first year that P.E.I. is taking part. It's part of the Education Department's new focus on innovation and creativity. 2 schools took part in the pilot project, sent teams to the challenge in Nova Scotia. Vicki Allen Cook and Kieran Hennessy are with the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development, and they led the pilot project. Island Morning's Nancy Russell spoke with them about P.E.I.'s big wins at the weekend competition.
What happens when the most creative minds from around the world come together? Destination Imagination Global Finals.
How big is Destination Imagination? Well, since 1999, more than 1.5 million young people have participated. It reaches 200,000 students annually in 48 states and 30 countries. And now, P.E.I. has joined for the first time.
In one of 6 challenges.
My name is Kieran Hennessy. I'm the Business Curriculum Specialist with the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development. So Destination Imagination is a nonprofit organization that really pushes students to think innovatively, creatively, and take risks. Student teams of between 2 and 7 are presented with open-ended challenges, and these challenges range from structural to technical to scientific, to service learning, to improv, and the fine arts.
You will have up to 6 minutes to use your imagination to build your tower, and up to 1 minute to turn your tower into a bridge and add weight.
So students can choose which challenge that they prefer. After they choose a challenge, they tend to work through a 13-week process where they're creating and developing and practicing solutions to their challenge.
You can make it like wait. Guys, put these 2 on here. We have to start with guys.
And eventually, they move towards a tournament. And in our case, we took our students to a tournament in Halifax. And there they showcase their skills and present the solutions to their challenge. They're also given what's called an instant challenge. So this challenge is kept secret until the day of the tournament, and students are brought into a secret room. They're given the challenge and they have to react.
On the table are a taped area within which you must build your tower.
My name is Vicki Allen Cook, and I'm the Arts Education Curriculum Specialist at the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development. We want students to be developing as creative thinkers and doers across all subject matters. So they have to be able to collaborate, they have to be able to communicate, they need to be critical thinkers, and they need to be very creative.
Because this is a pilot and it was a new program, we just wanted to dip our toe in the water. So we piloted Destination Imagination this year in 2 intermediate schools on Prince Edward Island. So the 2 schools were Montague Intermediate, so they sent 2 different teams, and East Willowshire sent 2 different teams to the tournament in Halifax. I know that some of them met at the end of the day, some of them met in the mornings, some of them met after school. The training really encompassed determining their team challenge out of one of the 6 categories. And not only that, they knew that they were going to be also tested in the instant challenges, so they were practicing those as well.
How much time would these students have spent preparing for the competition?
There was a lot of hurdles because I know one of the teams planned on meeting on Fridays, and I think there were several Fridays that we didn't have school because of storms. I think it's a significant amount of time. I think the most time was spent leading up to the tournament and just seeing what the students brought to the tournament with them, all their props and their costumes. You could tell that there was a significant amount of time, energy, and effort.
We had an improv, 2 improv teams, we had a fine arts team, and we had a structural team. And I'll give you an example for that with the structural. What they had to do was actually build a structure that could support a certain amount of weight. When we did the improv one, at one point I had to smile. There was a part where they had zombies, and all of a sudden one of our folks, right, He had a cat bite him and he turned into a zombie cat. Like, these kids are so smart to be able to take and think on the dime. And then the other group, which was the fine arts group, they had to create a play. They had to play music. They had to have 2 elements of art.
Any ideas? I think that the pencils would be the strongest for...
They have to be very good about analyzing. There's timekeepers. There's somebody who's make sure that they're reading the instructions and strategizing to get the most points out of it. So there's a whole lot of different pieces, and they really have to work in sync because they don't have very much time to pull this off. The improv that got first and the Da Vinci was East Wiltshire, and that was what they called EW2. And EW1 was the fine arts team, and they won first. The structural that came in second, that was Sticky Fingers from Montague.
How is this going to benefit all island students, not just the ones who are participating in these challenges?
Destination Imagination creates an opportunity. So it's an opportunity for students who may not necessarily be interested in some of the current initiatives that we offer, such as Science Fair and the Heritage Fair. I think that creativity and innovation is about a different way of thinking. And through Destination Imagination, we are fostering that way of thinking through students and teachers. And as the students and teachers go back to their schools who experience this DI tournament and the DI process, they will bring this into their classrooms and into their everyday experiences and into their schools.
With the wins in Halifax, 2 of the P.E.I. teams have now qualified for the Destination Imagination Global Finals in Knoxville, Tennessee. The registration cost is $750 per participant, plus travel costs.
We always believed in our students, but it was our first year, and we are thrilled by the fact that we are challenged by the fact that we are going to have to look at what we might be able to do.
And then there are plans to expand.
Kieran and I are working on having our own island Destination Imagination here on P.E.I. And we are looking at the fact that they could go to globals then too. What we would like to do is be able to offer this to all intermediate schools. We did have a number of parents and other teachers that actually attended the tournament with us on the weekend, and a lot of them went back to their own intermediate schools saying, gee, I hope we can do this.
For Island Morning, I'm Nancy Russell in Charlottetown.
Thanks so much, Nancy. Nancy was speaking there with Vicki Allen Cook and Kieran Hennessy with the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development.